What's up, guys? Elijah Scheidler here, and I have an awesome event that I'd like to invite you to. Some friends of mine and I in the Valley have organized a United Night of Worship on Friday, September 7th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at 724 Glider Lane in Belgrade, Montana. If you're not familiar with the Belgrade area and you don't know where that's at, go all the way to the end of Jackrabbit, take a right onto Glider Lane, and then the warehouse that's going to be to your left just before you hit the community center is going to be 724 Glider Lane. Again, we're going to have a United Night of Worship for the whole Gallatin Valley, whoever would like to come, on Friday, September 7th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. So that's the important part of this video. If that's something you want to come out to, it resonates with you, and it's something you want to be involved in, please come out. If you know of other people that would have a passion for United Worship in the Valley, please share this video with them and invite them along as well. So again, Friday, September 7th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at 724 Glider Lane in Belgrade, Montana. We hope we see you there. The rest of the video is a little bit of vision of why we're passionate about this event and why we're all sacrificing to put it on. Honest confession, I'm a husband, I'm a father of 2 little girls who are both under the age of 3. I'm a small business owner. I'm involved in all kinds of ministry opportunities throughout the Bozeman area. I have more friends than I can count, and I try to stay connected with all of them. On top of that, I have tons of hobbies, and then there's somewhere in there some personal time to just relax and to recharge with hiking or something of that nature. And so, honest confession, I'm super busy. Everyone else who's volunteering to put on the night, likewise, we're all very busy. One of the members on the music team just had their 3rd child on August 17th. Congratulations to Katie and Scott. But we consider this night of worship worth the effort and the sacrifice to make a reality. So as I was thinking about what to share in this video by way of vision that really captures our heart for this night of worship, an experience that I had as a young kid came to mind to illustrate what we're going after. In the early 90s, I think it was like around 92, 94, somewhere in there, there was a Christmas that fell on a weekend. And one of my aunts heard my grandpa say that he wished that all of his kids could be in his house on Christmas Day. And as they started thinking back to when the last time that had happened, it had been years and years since the last time that my grandpa, Robert Scheidler, had all of his kids together in his house on Christmas Day. So out of that expressed desire for my grandpa, my aunt and all of my other family back east began plotting on how they were going to make that a reality. The hard part about that dream for my grandpa is that my immediate family lives here in Montana. And so the rest of my family lives in Greensburg, Indiana. So it's easier for them to make that a reality, but then to get us all the way from Montana on Christmas Day was going to be a huge challenge. At that time, my family growing up, we didn't have a lot of money, and so the whole family started making phone calls and planning and plotting and sacrificing to make this a reality for my grandpa. Everybody chipped in money. My dad took off time from work, took his vacation over Christmas, and the whole family started coming around this dream of my grandpa to have everybody in his house on Christmas Day. I remember it was so crazy because there were 6 of us in my family, and so we all jumped on a plane and traveled on Christmas Eve. We stayed with my Uncle Tim and my Aunt Teresa. So we got up on Christmas morning, had breakfast at my aunt and uncle's house, and then went over to my grandparents about mid-afternoon to engage in this big Christmas celebration. Wrapped around all of these plans for us to coming, my grandpa had also wanted this. It was a big piece of furniture. I can't remember exactly what it was. It was like a hutch or a serving table, something of that nature. And as Christmas came up, all of my uncles and aunts and the whole extended family kept dropping like these moments where he would catch them whispering about the Christmas present that they were going to get for him, dropping hints that they were actually getting this huge piece of furniture for him. And so as we moved into the time of opening presents, us older grandkids were moving this huge piece of furniture into into the living room. I remember my grandpa was sitting in his big easy chair, and my grandma was standing right behind him with her hand on his shoulder, and we had him put on blindfolds, and we were making this big show of whispering really quiet so we didn't bump corners, like, "Well, watch out for that corner, watch out for that corner." And we set it down in the middle of the room, making lots of noise, and then my family then spread out through all the rest of my family. And there's a bunch of us in the Scheidler family. There's like 30 or 40 of us. So we all spread out throughout all of the family, and then one of my aunts or uncles, I can't remember who it was, but they said, "All right, go ahead and take off your blindfolds." And the whole time my grandpa's just laughing. He's like, "Oh, you kids, you better not have gotten what I think you got for me." And we're all laughing and joking. Well, they pulled off their blindfolds. I remember my grandpa, he looked right to the middle of the room where all of the noise was happening. But I remember that my grandma started to look around at all of the faces of those that had gotten them the present. My grandma looked around and she saw me first, and her face just lit up. And then she started looking around the room more, and she saw my brother, and then my dad, and then my mom. Guys, I get emotional every time I think about it. But my grandpa's face lit up with so much joy and his heart's desire being met of having all of his family with him in his house, celebrating with him on Christmas Day. A hope fulfilled is a tree of life, and I saw hope on my grandpa's face. It was such a gift. It made all the sacrifice, all of the trouble, all of the work to get there on Christmas Day seem meaningless in comparison to the look on my grandpa's face. And I remember he cried and he cried and he hugged us, and then we all started laughing, and then he started yelling at us and scolding us, and it was one of the most memorable Christmases of my growing up. As I think about that example, it captures the heart of what we hope to do in the Gallatin Valley through our United Nights of Worship. I think it's so awesome how God gives us foretastes of the future to let us taste of the joy of the fulfillment of his heart before he brings it as a reality. If you think about Jesus in Hebrews chapter 12, it says, "Fix your eyes on Jesus, who for the joy set before him endured the cross." And so the adversity of the cross, its sacrifice, its torments, and its shame and humiliation, Jesus broke through all of those things for the joy that was set before him. I love that our Father gives us this image of his heart's desire in Revelation, that at the end of time, there will be a sea of worshipers around the throne from every tribe, tongue, kindred, nation, family under heaven, worshiping him forever. And when I think about that, the thunderous roar of worship going up before the Father forever, I can't wait for that time period. But like my grandpa, our Father has tipped his hand, guys. He's told us what he wants. He wants all of his children from every tribe, tongue, kindred, nation under heaven around his throne in one space and time, worshiping him for all that he is worth. And so when I hear about that desire of our Father and I taste of the joy that will be, and I'm empowered by Jesus to pray, "Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven," I start cooking up crazy plans of getting all of God's kids in one space, in one time, right now to meet our Father's heart's desire. So like I said in the beginning, I am super busy. My time and energy budgets are super tight. And so just like all of us in the Scheidler family love my grandpa, like we love him to death. He's such a beautiful man. And we do that each individually in our own houses, all across the United States. There was something so special about us meeting in one spot in his house and to meet his heart's desire. Our heart's desire as musicians in organizing this night of worship on September 7th is to gather all of the children of God's family throughout the Gallatin Valley in one space at one time to bless our Father's heart, to set ourselves down in the middle of the room, to make a lot of noise, to try to pull the wool over his eyes. Shh, don't tell him. He doesn't know what's coming. It's a secret. Whatever. He already knows. It's our heart's desire as a group of worshipers to create a night of worship that draws as many of our Father's children into one space at one time to mirror his heart for eternity now on earth in our valley, so that as our Father looks around this room of communion, this room of worshipers, that he begins to see, oh, that person, and then, oh, that person from that church, and they're here, and that our Father's heart would overflow in his face of affection as he looks on his children as they serve sacrificially to meet his heart's desire. Guys, that's why we're organizing a united night of worship on September 7th. If I can have that kind of experience in the physical with my grandpa, and it was beautiful, it was meaningful, it'll be memories that'll last forever, how much more powerful will the overflow of joy from our Father affect our hearts in the kingdom as we sacrifice to gather as the children of God to meet the desires of our Father's heart? If the vision and the story of our heart's desire in this night of worship on September 7th resonates with you by God's Spirit, we would love to see you come out and to worship with us. The fullness of our heart before the Father is not represented without all God's children in the valley. It'll be great with whatever number of God's family members come and celebrate with us. And there's freedom in not coming. We understand that it's difficult to take off time in the middle of a busy week with families and work. We understand that. But we're making a call for sacrificial engagement around the desires of our Father's heart. So if you'd like to come out with us and gather around our Father's presence in worship, we're going to be holding it on Friday, September 7th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at 724 Glider Lane. If this invitation in this event has resonated with your heart and you'd like to come to our event, please tell us in the comments below that you plan on coming so we know how best to prepare for the people that will be there. Also, if you know of other people in the valley that this call, this invitation, that this dream before our Father would resonate with, please share this video with them and invite them into our night as well. We hope that many of you will be able to come out and worship with us before our Father and to speak his great worth back to him. Have a blessed week, and we hope to see you on September 7th.